Sometimes strange things happen, and there is no seemingly logical explanation for those occurrences to be happening. Is it a paranormal event, or is there a logical explanation for what's going on? Well, let me tell you a couple of strange occurrences that I experienced, and I think to be paranormal. That's right. Strange paranormal occurrences. Now, this is a topic that I do not usually cover. As a matter of fact, I haven't covered it at all on my channel, but I felt like I just needed to talk about something different for a change with everybody. Believe it or not, these stories, these are true. These happened to me. I have no reason to lie to you. I will not make this up. This is all genuine stuff. I want to say probably about 3 stories that I have for you. So let's start with the very first encounter that I ever had. I remember being very, very young. I remember being less than 2 years old. Before my parents and I moved out to the house that I grew up in, I lived in another house in a small town in Indiana, and I remember living there. But that was the thing about that is I lived there until I was about 2 years old, and then when I was 2, we moved to this other house. This had to have been right around the time that we moved to this house. In the house that I grew up in, there was what they now call the back room. Now they just use it for like an extra chest freezer and an extra refrigerator and stuff like that. But when I was growing up, we actually had our TV back there and a couch, and it was kind of like our living room or our TV room. I'm just going to show you some pictures here and maybe a little video footage of this room. If you can see here, there's a window here. And I remember looking out this window, and there was a man staring back at me outside. I didn't recognize him. I didn't know who he was. But he did look a little not right. But you got to understand, I was 2 years old, so I didn't know what dead was. I had no idea. But when I think about it now, that pretty much explains what he looked like. I couldn't see through him. He was solid, and the only thing that I remember seeing was from his shoulders up. I mean, he was looking at me. He was looking directly at me. And I said, "Mama, there's a man outside." And she went over there, and she looked, and she said, "Honey, there's nobody out there." But I knew that I saw, I wasn't lying about it. I knew that I saw this guy, and I found it very strange that my mom didn't see him. I remember thinking like, well, that's weird. Like, I know I saw him out there. And I went and looked again, and of course he was not there. I just remember seeing that guy, and I could still see his face to this day. And the closest thing that I can tell you that he looked like was in the movie The Exorcist. There's a scene where the priest is having a dream about his mother. She's kind of far away, and he's hollering out to her, and she's hollering back to him. There's no audible dialogue or anything like that. And I think she like walks down into a subway. Well, during that whole scene, there's a quick flash of the demon that is possessing the girl Regan. It's very quick, like just one frame. And while it's a lot more Hollywood, or I don't know exactly the terminology I'm looking for, he looked very similar to this, but not exactly like this. He still looked like a person. He didn't like have like a skull face or anything like that, but he was very like grayish and sort of greenish as well. Kind of bluish too. And I remember him just looking at me. He was confused. His face was saying to me, "Who are you, and why are you in my house? Or why are you in this house? Why are you here?" And again, you know, I was little. I didn't know what dead was. Had no idea. I definitely didn't know what a ghost was. Until I would say probably 8 years ago, I thought about that, and I realized that what I had seen was a ghost. And that was my very, very first encounter with a ghost. Now, I've had a couple of things happen here and there. I've had more than just, 2 or 3 experiences. You know, I was over at a friend's house one day, and we heard this loud knocking. That family had told me that his house was haunted. And it was, it's just one of those things where, okay, well, I've been over here a lot of times and nothing's ever happened. And that's how paranormal things usually go, or ghost claims and stuff like that. who knows what leads them to believe that something in their house is there that's not normal or beyond the realm of what we can see. This one day, I heard like this knocking, and I went back to check, and it was in the back room, and the door that had originally been closed in this back room where their laundry was now open, and there was no one around. No one had come up to the house. It was just him and I. But that's, okay, wow, boo, crazy. Something knocked on the door once. No, let me tell you something a little bit more spine-chilling. So I have a cell phone with a friend of mine. We have a family plan, and I pay him X amount of money a month to have a phone. One day, he was going to come over and pick up his money. Now, I have a dog. Her name is Shaka. So Shaka and I were lying on my bed, and I was waiting for my friend Josh to come over, and I'm lying in bed and I'm reading, and I hear the back door open, and I hear someone walk through the house and walk all the way around to where my bedroom is. The thing is, guys, not only did I hear this, but my dog heard it too. My dog, whenever somebody walks in the house, she'll start barking loud. And it scares the shit out of me every time she does it. But she heard it, and she was like doing this woof, woof kind of thing. So I know that she heard it too. This sound, I hear this person walk through my house, through my kitchen, onto the carpeted area, walk all the way up to in front of where my bedroom is, by the door, and the footsteps stopped. Now, I had gotten ready for bed, and I remember thinking, well, I guess Josh is here. I better put pants on and go see him and give him his money. Well, I go out, and there's no one there. There's absolutely no one there. The house is still completely dark. At this point, it's very apparent to me. I can feel that there's someone there. I cannot see this person. It was as if there was someone there, but I just could not see them. And that, to me, audible experiences like that, I feel are the absolute most creepy. It's one thing if you see something out of the corner of your eye, or you see a shadow dart across the room or whatever, but when there are audible disturbances like footsteps, doors opening and closing, I have goosebumps right now thinking about it. Out of all of the experiences I think that I've had 2 audible experiences, and I'll save another audible experience for another video if you guys like this one. But that one was really intense for me. It's just someone walking through the house, but guys, there was no one there, Now, my final experience that I'll share with you took place at Waverly Hills. It's a very famous place. It's an old tuberculosis sanatorium. People that had tuberculosis before it could be cured, this is where they were sent, and people died there every single day. The whole experience was really creepy, but I kept my mind open. It's like, all right, if I see something, I'm not going to say anything to anybody, because you're on a tour with a lot of different people, and you know how it is. Oh, did you hear this? Yeah, I heard that, man. I heard that. And everything becomes distorted and polluted, and I didn't want that kind of experience. I thought if I see something or I hear something and somebody else says something about it, then I will know that it actually happened. So we're on this tour, and we go to, I believe it was the 3rd floor or the 4th floor. It might have been the 4th floor. It was the most active floor, is what they claim. You are not allowed to have any lights on, and they're walking you through in the dark. Now, all you have to light your path is the moonlight. The moonlight does shine into this building. The building is very open, and back before they knew how to cure tuberculosis, they felt a lot of fresh air would be the best way to cure. And so there's a lot of openness to this whole building, and the moonlight, while it doesn't light your path incredibly bright, you can see. So we're walking on this floor, and the tour guide asks us to stop. If I could find a picture of the tour guide, I'll post a picture of him. If I did, this is him. This tour guide asks us to stop, and he asks for a volunteer. This girl volunteers. She says, I'll do whatever, So has this girl come forward, and he says, all right, honey, what I want you to do is I want you to walk down this hallway and just hold your arms out. Now, I'm not sure why he had her hold her arms out, but she holds her arms out straight, not in front of her, but alongside of her. And he says, now walk down the hallway. And she's walking, and I'm watching her. And as she's walking, I see these legs walking next to her in step. But the thing is they were shadow. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that they were shadow casted by her along the wall by the moonlight. This was a shadow that was three-dimensional, walking exactly parallel with her, right next to her, in step. They just appeared as she walked. I could see this, and I'm thinking, am I really seeing that? Is this just some sort of trick that my eyes are playing on me? You know, am I seeing this? But I didn't say anything. And then the tour guide says, do you see those legs walking next to her? And the whole group said, yes, we see it. And I mean, like I said, I went into this saying to myself, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let somebody else say it first. And when that tour guide said that, that confirmed for me. Not only just the tour guide saying it, but everybody there was like, yeah, we see that. You know, was that a ghost? Was it just a trick that my eyes were playing on me because of the moonlight and it being such a low-lit area? I have walked in the dark with many people before, and they have walked in front of me, and I have never seen shadow legs walking next to them. That was a first. Those are my ghost experiences. Not all of them, just some of them. And if you want to hear more, let me know by leaving me a comment down below in the comment section. And if you liked the video, let me know by leaving me a like. Drop a subscription if you haven't yet. Again, I don't usually do a whole lot of the paranormal stuff, but I just wanted to see how this went, and I wanted to share my experience with you, and I want you to share your experiences with me, because I love talking to you. I love hearing from you. If you would like to, you could donate to my Patreon, even $1, and if all of my subscribers just donated $1, I would have enough to do a lot of things and give back to a lot of you. So I highly encourage you to consider that. It is not necessary, but it would be very much appreciated. And anybody who donates $1 gets a shout out in my next video. And of course, I will set up higher tiers and stuff like that with much better prizes, giving back to those of you who are giving to me. I love you all so very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.